Can anyone hear us?
Oh,
Right, okay.
to mute that.
Because it's just going to be there. Well, that's devastating because we genuinely had 15 minutes of amazing quality there.
So good. Pure chat.
And now this is just going to be a tribute.
This is the greatest
feed in the world.
Oh, I know I said I wasn't going to say.
I know. Okay, so awesome.
We have it working now, though.
We think we have it working now. So in summary of the first 15 minutes of silence.
So your disclaimer again. Disclaimer alert!
Yes, okay, right. So I'm Kim, this is Claire. We are doing a stream for Mind.
Failing.
Failing, but we're doing a stream for Mind Story. This is our very first stream, and obviously the first 15 minutes were muted, and we were not aware of that, but we are now. Yeah, so essentially what we're doing is we are doing 1 hour of gaming streams, different games every other day, and we'll post our schedule up there, and we are doing it in hopes to raise money for Mind. So it's a UK-based charity around mental health and wellbeing support. It's got loads of great information. We will be sort of sourcing it, quoting it quite a lot, and it's linked in my Twitch profile. Disclaimer, we're not professionals. This is not meant to be taken as professional advice. We're just sort of giving our personal experience and a collaboration of information that we've sort of culminated over the years. If you feel triggered or you're at all at risk or unsafe, contact emergency services, your local crisis team or Samaritans on 116. Do you want me to do this?
Will do.
On 116 123 if you're in the UK, for someone to talk to. It's 24 hours, reach out, they're a great service. Do seek professional advice or support, or reach out to family and friends if this is the case. So once again, this isn't meant to be taken as sort of professional advice. This is just two gals streaming. Fun with flags.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
So yeah, we're doing this stream today. So this will be the first. We'll do 14 others every other day for an hour each, to raise money for Mind. And the reason that we're doing it for 15 streams, 15 hours, is to sort of acknowledge the 1 in 15 people each year that attempt to take their own lives. So we are hoping to sort of aid, support in any way. The Just Giving page to donate is linked through my Facebook. If you've got me on Facebook, I'm not going to include it on Twitch, but if you want to follow, watch, join the chat, that would be really helpful, even just for 5-10 minutes, so that we don't feel like buffoons, for example,
any more than we already
talking for 15 minutes and being on mute. But you live and you learn.
Sure.
And I think that was, yeah.
Who did up there? Sorry.
Our hope is,
I'm now so into the game. I'm like,
I know. And I'm like trying to give it heartfelt.
So sorry.
So our hope is to spread awareness around mental health issues and essentially suicide prevention. Please talk to people, make connections, reach out. It is out, helps out there. It does get better, I promise. Talking about it is the start of that. The first 15 minutes that were on mute was the best content you'll have ever missed in your entire life.
Absolutely.
But basically we're playing Journey today. It's sort of nice, fluffy little game. In summary, the last 15 minutes, I was just really concerned that the character doesn't have arms and they were jumping about a lot. And that's because it stems from how clumsy I am and how nervous I would be around it.
We were a wee bit concerned about it, and I was concerned about its toes, the fact that it doesn't have two toes to land on.
Important points to cover to recap.
I was also we missed the sphincter chat as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad, but I wish you hadn't brought it up a second time. However, that was in reference to Dune, the book that Claire is reading.
Dune, not June.
I know I say June like the month, can't help it. What we also covered is, so this is sort of anxiety and depression 101. So we're just going to give a little bit of information from personal experience and also from the Mind website. So we sort of had read out a little about low mood and depression.
So like, what is depression?
Yeah.
Timothy.
I would really appreciate that not sticking. But
okay. We'll see.
This is Kimberly all over again, I can tell. In primary school, when like kids are chanting, it's like Kimberly, and there was nothing else to follow that rhymes with Kimberly, so I got Kimberly the Gimberly, and to this day the word Gimberly still irks me. However,
I don't think that's a word.
It might not be, it might be. Who can say?
Is Gimberly a word?
let us know. So depression, a little bit about depression. So what is depression? So according to Mind, which is just mind.org.uk, depression is a low mood that lasts for a long time and affects your everyday life. In its mildest form, depression can mean just being low in spirits. It doesn't stop you leading a normal life, but it makes everything harder to do and seem less worthwhile. At its most severe, depression can be life-threatening because it can make you feel suicidal.
And that's why we're doing this.
And that's why we're doing this, yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's just talking, opening that conversation up and normalising it, because it is normal, it is okay. Yeah, little dude's just chilling.
I know I have to press circle, but I was going to wait until you're finished talking. That's like, also, see, I don't know if this is just a PS5 thing or if you can do this on PS4, but I was playing with that and then I was like, right, no, sorry.
No, like the whole point is to stream, so like
I know,
and then we'll switch and we'll but yeah.
He's doing a wee meditation.
Meditation. Have you tried yoga?
No.
So yeah, we'll cover that down the line.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But definitely, like, depression and things to do with suicide are definitely something that have touched my life. So I am all for helping you do the stream, darling.
Thank you. A fire inside my bag generally sounds like a couple name. Thank you for
Fire inside in my bag. Can you please Google Jimberley, and if you do get a result, like, gonna let us know? Oh, because I don't think it is. I don't think it's a thing.
It was a thing for many, many years.
Oh, it was a thing for you, obviously.
Yeah, it's stuck.
Right, hang on, I'm going to press circle.
Right.
I need to hold it.
I mean, that was anticlimactic, so it was. That word, apparently.
We're not finished.
Alright.
I freed the flags. Fun with flags! Fun with flags.
Hi, I'm Sheldon Cooper. I'm Amy.
I'm Amy?
Well, I would imagine that would be the case.
Yeah, no, I would be Amy. T-Babe here, actually, I quite like.
Amy's cool.
Oh. Right, okay, no, it's
my fear that everyone that's watching, or anyone that's watching, is like, oh my god, I even posted on Facebook earlier just so that I was preempting it, you see, because of my anxiety.
Yeah. Anxiety can be a good thing sometimes.
So a little bit about anxiety. So anxiety is what we feel when we're worried, tense or afraid, particularly about things that are about to happen or which we think could happen in the future. Anxiety is a natural human response when we feel that we're under threat. It can be experienced through our thoughts, feelings and physical sensations. Most people feel anxious at times. It's particularly common to experience anxiety while coping with stressful events or changes, especially if they have a big impact on your life. You know, like a global pandemic that you've been trapped in for 2 years.
Do you know, I remember, and I've said this to you, I don't know how many times, I remember thinking, oh yes, a pandemic, not oh yes, a pandemic, sorry, I'll sort of rephrase that, but just thinking, oh, lockdown's not going to affect me really, because I'm sometimes afraid to go out the house, like, just normally, so if I already have that, I've been preparing for this for years, like, it's fine, but it just exasperated what was already there, and I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to be chill, I guess. Be chill, it's fine, like, you're used to this, it's fine, blah blah blah.
Yeah, no, I remember actually us having conversations about that, because for me it wasn't something I wasn't quite, looking forward to it, and I don't think you or anyone else was.
No.
I mean, zombie apocalypse, I had, there's that little thing where I was like, oh, is it going to be a zombie apocalypse?
This close to playing Lucille.
I'm prepared for that, and 100% it would have been easier than what we were.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, if you want to give, like,
that's
understand if you want to.
That's a stream for a whole other time. We'll just say that
it was difficult.
It was challenging.
My family were staying.
So Claire,
my mum and dad,
my in-laws. So Claire and I are engaged to be married, to be betrothed next year.
I had to after that year. It's like,
and basically,
lock this shit down.
Yeah, the in-laws moved in. So her mum and dad, who've been divorced 30+ years, and who are both very
crazy,
strong-willed individuals who present their own sets of challenges. They moved in, and we've got a tiny 2-bedroom house. And I say 2-bedroom. One of the bedrooms I use as an office predominantly / gaming room, and that then became my mother-in-law's bedroom. Like, your dad was on the couch.
Yeah.
It was just a tiny enclosed space with I'm sure everyone, like, tell us your lockdown stories. I'm sure everyone's experienced something.
But we feel that ours.
Yes, I mean, we'll win. Obviously, everything's a competition. But
absolutely.
I'm joking about that. I know that everyone, there's that side of it where we were so cramped and overcrowded, and then there's the side of it where people were alone and couldn't see anyone.
Yeah,
and that
exactly.
isolation must have been. I can't even imagine what that was like, because it is difficult as, and it's certainly pushing our buttons for my own well-being and mental health. You know, having sort of such a full household whilst working from home and doing all of this. I can't imagine what it would have been like the other side of that spectrum, and being alone and having no one. You know, just Zoom or just calls or even if that.
Yeah, we didn't have time. Like, that's the thing as well. Like, my mum was, loads of flags. I'm saying they're flags. I don't even know what they are. Are they like little mini carpets, like flying carpets?
God.
What?
So Derek says, a Gimberley is someone whose name you've forgotten, or you're just not that bothered by it. Did you invite a Gimberley to the party? Who? Wow, no wonder I was so bothered by it. I'm a forgotten soul. A forgotten toy.
I've forgotten.
Do you ever watch that film, Forgotten Toys?
No.
Oh, I can't remember the name of the guy in it. Oh, but it's good. It's just like your old, like, ratty Teddy and this little doll, and honestly, it's such a good but sad film. So yeah, and Laura said, that when she looked it up, she can't unsee what she saw, and it was some explicit images.
Did I see something about Pornhub?
No, just.
Did I just make that up then?
Yeah.
Right, wow, sorry.
Yeah, you did. It's all good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Urban Dictionary for the win. So according to Urban Dictionary, a Gimberley is something that you basically can't be bothered with and forget.
You're not a Gimberley to me, Gimberley.
Thank you,
Kimberly.
This is now going to stick. This is going to be a thing. I hope it doesn't. We'll need to come up with one for you. It's Clarabelle is really all that I can think of.
I know. My mum gave me that as well.
Gave you that as opposed to the birth name that she gave you?
No, she gave me that nickname as well.
Did she?
Yeah, and she would say it when all my friends were around as well.
Ah, so she was trying to...
The root of my... No, I'm not joking. But yeah, so...
Who would have thought that streaming was so cathartic and therapeutic?
You think so?
Like, we're getting some stuff out here.
I'm really glad.
Now that my cheeks have like calmed down slightly and we're off of mute,
Come on.
Laura was like, I'm getting you demonetised before you even get affiliated. I very much doubt it will go to affiliation, but would totally be cool with that. I mean, fun with flags, hashtag. Fun with Claire would be...
Fun with Claire? No, that's not happening.
Fun with Gimberley and Clarabelle.
No, I'm not into that at all. I'm affit, as they say in Scotland.
Well, we're just spitfiring, you know?
Yeah.
Spitballing, spitfire, planes. I don't know what I'm saying at this point.
No. So what are you still nervous?
I'm still nervous. I think because we muted ourselves for 15 minutes probably made me more nervous.
Really?
A little bit.
I'm kind of like, well, we said all the shit that we were going to say, like, we got that all out of the way kind of thing. I don't know where I'm supposed to go again. Wait, no, okay, I remember.
Do you like the wee dude's cave? Is it a fox? Are you a person? Are you a sand creature? All these questions I've got to know the answer to.
Yeah. Come on. Big jump. Why can't I jump when I want to? I wonder if it's because I'm in deep sand. It looks like I'm in...
I think that should be a new phrase. We're in deep sand right
We're
now.
in deep sand.
Yeah, I couldn't jump either. Maybe the little character's just like...
Shut up. You make me walk around this planet.
It is quite a peaceful game actually.
It is.
I
It's
really
really
need
chill.
to think too much about it.
It was. I think it was definitely a good one. Ooh.
Oh, it's a super fancy little floaty escalator. I like it. But yeah, if you go on to
I'm sure I'm doing this wrong.
no, I don't think so anyway.
No, I think I am. I think you need to go down. Oh yeah, look, see, there's things down there that I need to.
What would happen if you jumped?
Well, this game's so chill that you don't ever die. I don't think.
That's pretty cool. But
Yes.
so
Okay, I got it. I'm on
if
it.
you want to know anything more, because we're not just going to sit and read from the Mind website, if you want to know more, it's really good because it breaks it down into like symptoms, a little bit about the issue or disorder or whatever you want to refer to it as, some causes. It gives you some self-care ideas, treatments, and then it's got a little section for friends and family and useful contacts. So it's got that for pretty much every issue. That it's got available on there, so it is a really good breakdown. You can get it in PDF form, you can access it through your phone, any kind of smart device, and it's a really good website. It's got a lot of information, even just to remind yourself, like we were saying earlier, remind yourself of stuff that you think you already know.
We did say this earlier.
We did say it earlier, but
it wasn't heard.
Muted.
What we like.
I don't know, what we like. Sound of me. That's a video she watches all the time. Anyway, right, so what we did speak about that I thought maybe would be worth like kind of speaking about again is our own experiences. You know, so you'd sort of said to me about what you thought, what I thought about the definition of depression, and then we spoke a little bit about our own experiences with low moods, and just sort of how I think in summary talking about it, reaching out, was sort of helped destigmatise it, helped break down those barriers.
I mean, certainly at first there's no way. Like again, obviously I was diagnosed with depression when I was 19, and I'm 34, so I'm not going to do math because it's terrifying. But also it's just like going to a GP and talking about it like is daunting. The first time you ever kind of think about it, and you're wondering what's wrong with you, or I don't know, it's horrible. It's a horrible feeling, but admitting it to people that you love as well, and obviously that's the thing as well. It just comes hand in hand with depression for me anyway. Depression and anxiety, just like the two of them just are the same for me. But I know. When I was younger, I used to basically be like, oh, I can't come out tonight, or and I would purposely be like, nah, I need to see this person, I can't make it out, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, and I would cancel plans all the time, and it was because of anxiety and depression. But I would just be like, oh, doing something else, or I don't know. I would
did you know?
Oh no, 100%. I would be like in hearsay, and I'd be like, oh no, I'm not going to make it out tonight. I've tried, I've got ready, and blah blah blah, but I'm just not going to make it out tonight. I'm feeling a bit feeling too anxious to actually leave the house. And that would happen all the time. But so nowadays, again, it's a bit of vanity as well, because when you're younger, you don't want to open yourself up like that as well. So I don't know. For me now, again, as a 34-year-old, I'm like, I'm not going to make it out tonight because I'm bouncing off the walls with anxiety. So or struggling today, whatever way you want to put it. But yeah, so I'm just a lot more honest now. But I don't know if that's an age thing or if it's because I've had anxiety for so long. I don't know what that would be.
Hopefully, it's a bit of kind of culturally in the shift as well.
Yeah, I think so. Because it's talked about way more. Yeah. Whereas obviously wasn't really in the past.
See, I don't think I really acknowledged the past. It's Rafiki.
The past, that was her.
But yeah, I think certainly in the past it's not something that I would have necessarily acknowledged and labelled as anxiety, depression or low mood. So I remember particularly being around about the 18 to even 24, 25 stage, and I would go out and I would be so anxious and so nervous, but I would cope with that negatively. So the way I would do it would be I would get drunk quite quickly, or use these kind of negative coping skills and things
that's still a thing. It's like, pre-drinks before you go out. Do you know?
It's just a thing in our society. Or shots or this or that, and sort of then being at that level where my inhibitions had dropped, and sort of I was just then on par with where sort of I deemed everyone else was already. Sort of walking out. So I probably got in quite a state, a bunch of states, I'm sure, in my student years, but I can't solely, blame anxiety or depression for that, but pound of drink and my own choices were certainly in there. But yeah, so I wouldn't have labelled it as anxiety, but it definitely was, so I'd be on, even on the train on the way in and things like that, having headphones on. It's interesting, all the different coping skills. I mean, I wouldn't have acknowledged it to my friend group at that time. I wouldn't have said,
absolutely,
and I was really close to them, but I wouldn't have said, listen, I'm actually really anxious tonight, or I'm really or this or that.
Sorry guys, I'm going down for it. Sorry. I know, it would annoy me.
Fair enough.
You can never stream The Last of Us because I will pick up every single item.
And we were watching a stream last night and doing some research. One of my favourite streamers, Snowy Dahlia, look them up. They're brilliant. Really,
she's
really
super
friendly.
Lovely as well.
They, non-binary pronoun thing, but yeah, they. So They're brilliant, they're really inclusive, and it's such a laugh. Like when they play, they're in the Discord like channel and all of that. I'm totally plugging them here, but honestly, it's awesome. And they were playing Last of Us, and it was quite funny because every time there was sort of like a sneaky scene or a scene where they had to do so, you could see their face being like, oh, and all tense, and it sort of just made me think it'd be quite funny if we were ever
That would be
stream those types of games.
That would
like
be
a horror
so
game.
fun.
You can't stand horrors. I love horrors.
They scare me. I'm scared all the time. I have anxiety, so I'm like...
Whereas, I love being scared.
Well, that's the thing, though.
I love sort of anxiety-provoking fear because I know where it's coming from. I can say that's where that fear and anxiety is coming from, so this is fun.
See, to be fair, though, since I've met you, I'm way more into kind of horror stuff. Like, way more into it. But, like, yeah, but no, I hated it at first. I was just like, oh, I'm too scared. But the Conjuring, not the Conjuring...
It's just, it sounds like a plumbing show. The Conjuring, I don't know, I just...
The Conjuring sounds like a plumbing show.
Yeah, just...
What kind of plumbing shows have you been watching without me? I'm going to check your YouTube.
Luigi and Mario's How To, I don't know. They got me this, it's a nightlight, but it's... out it goes. It's a little mushroom dude from Mario.
I love it. Sometimes when I'm sad, I just go up to it and go.
In fact, was it not Derek that had it, or was it Scott?
It was Scott.
Scott.
Anyway. Come on, keys. I think these are. Oh, now going towards the middle. Right, okay. And do I need to hold on to it? I feel like I'm going to need.
I'm going to be more involved with other games. This game stresses me out already.
Really?
Yeah. Well, not stress. It doesn't stress me out, but I don't know what to do in it. I'm terrible with independent games. I'm like, I need big labels to point arrows and show me what to do.
Yeah.
And recently I've been playing The Witcher, so The Witcher 3, and I am like so unbelievably into that right now. I'm losing hours of my life to it, but I love it.
I miss you.
She does.
It's nice to actually do this so I can see you.
Yeah,
throughout the day.
Yeah. She does see me throughout the day. I've been...
You're partially covered with a headset and like...
Well, I wouldn't have the headset on if you didn't shout in and be like, that
was at 1 o'clock in the morning though.
It was pre-12, it was pre-midnight, and I was at volume 8, and we always play at volume 10, even though the other one's in there.
Reading
and
Dune.
You're reading Dune.
Dune. But yeah.
Just emailed me to tell me we've got 25% off. I don't like when they do this.
I do.
That's pretty cool.
It's really cool. Sorry, I know you weren't like saying it wasn't really cool.
Your hands are freezing.
I know, it's the anxiety. Blame everything on anxiety. I was going to say, so... There
was actually a stage during the early parts of our relationship, so we've been together 4 years, and there's a stage where anything that I would do or say, Claire would go, do you know what that is?
You know what that is, don't you?
Anxiety.
That's anxiety.
So it really wipes us out a lot.
Yeah, it's really bright.
I feel like Casper. But yeah, so there's this ongoing sort of in-joke of, it's the anxiety.
Everything gets blamed on it, but it is really, anxiety is like, sometimes you just wouldn't think, like, yeah, like some of the symptoms you wouldn't think are anxiety,
yeah.
So I'd be like, well actually I think we find that those things linked to anxiety.
Do you know what's interesting? Even although I had quite a kind of, I would say, firm understanding of what anxiety was from a kind of clinical perspective, or from like a textbook perspective, the more experiential stuff, the more personal stuff was, I would say, more valuable. I think you do need to know the kind of theoretical side, don't get me wrong, like, yeah, the definitions, the labels, the X, Y's and Z's, but see the experiential, see talking to people and hearing how anxiety and low moods affecting them. So for example, with me, sometimes when I'm anxious, I'll fidget, I'll tap my foot like,
I love you. I love you.
But my knee will literally, it'll go up and down, or I'll fidget, or I'll foot.
It's only, I'm sorry, I roll my eyes at that, but it's just sometimes when we're watching a film and it's a really good bit, and then I've just got like on my on my knee, like if she's lying on the couch. I'm like, can you stop? Like seriously. But
yeah, and it's one of the things that I do. Like I've got this fidget spinner ring actually, so that she
all the way from Padstow in Cornwall.
Beautiful place.
We actually went all the way back to Padstow. Like my dad stays in like England, like near there anyway. But yeah, we specifically went to Padstow so that she could get the exact same ring as me.
We did indeed, and it's quite good to just kind of sit and so it's like the fidget spinner, but essentially in a ring. So again, that can help. That's kind of like everyone's own anxiety, like sort of text traits, features, characteristics are going to be theirs. But I guess we're just speaking to what ours are, and I know that like kind of foot tapping, like my leg going, sort of playing with the ring, the fidget spinner ring, is all kind of things that I tend to do when I'm quite anxious. And again, not until I sat down and acknowledged that. It's interesting though, because then once you're aware that these are the things that you do, you can then go back and think, right, well, what's actually causing this right now? What's triggering this? What else is going on? So sometimes it can be really helpful. Sometimes it just is what it is. And it's as simple as that. But I think sometimes it can be beneficial. So if you notice like a theme, or something keeps happening, or you keep doing something around a certain situation.
But I think that really helps if you have someone with you, because see, when I was single or whatever, if I was just sitting by myself repeating the same things, I wouldn't have noticed. But you picking up on something that's like happening with me, which I've not even thought about. Look, it's giving me a lift. Sorry, getting way too excited about this game.
It's like Aladdin's magic carpet. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, we need to do Aladdin as well, because I bought Aladdin. It's like a Sega version for the PlayStation, but I've been dying to play it for ages, and I've pure surfing. I'd love to do that on sand. Like, I don't want to do it on snow because it's like.
I was just looking at your face there and the sheer enjoyment. It was really adorable.
I love it.
But yeah, so we've got 14 other games. Aladdin will be one of them.
And the Lion King.
That we're going to play. So if you've got any suggestions or any sort of requests, and we've got them or we can get them.
Yeah, because it's to do with mine, we can't do certain ones, can we?
Yeah,
like we're trying to keep it
obviously because we're raising for Mind, and as a mental health charity, as kind of 16 plus, their T's and C's state, but ideally no sort of violence, nudity, excessive bad language, things,
And I'm gutted because I've just got the original, like, GTA.
Grand Theft Auto remaster, and yeah, that's probably, so anything
that's totally inappropriate, we're not going to do that, but I'm just meaning, like...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, obviously, these are games, the whole, I mean, for me, gaming is a massive outlet, and it's a huge coping mechanism for me.
For me too now as well, like, because again, I've said before, I don't know if it was heard actually, it was a sand one.
You've been reading that book too
I
much.
know. Like, to be fair, like, Paul's at the bit where he's just ridden his own one, which is really cool.
Spoiler alert.
So I was. What was I going to say? Yeah, for me, like, not being able to leave the house, like, being able to escape into a little chilled world like this really helps. So I'd like. I know a lot of people are like, oh, but gaming's not good for you and blah blah blah, but I'm like, like, sometimes you just need to bloody survive, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and it's like anything, any coping skill could be regarded as negative or toxic, or, you get toxic positivity, which is something that I want to talk about down the line. Easy. But, you... Oh, damn it! You hear people, it's so cute to watch when you get excited about it, but yeah, you hear people saying, so everyone's got their own view on mental health, and I'm not here to criticise or judge anyone's view on it. The only thing I would say is when people say they don't believe in mental health, it's not a unicorn, it's not a mental picture. So whether you believe in it or not doesn't erase the fact that it is real. It's very real, and I think the more you try to erase it and pretend that it is a mythical creature, or something that you believe in or don't believe in, I think that's not... it shows me a little bit of ignorance. I don't mean that in a sort of rude way, but I think certainly educating yourself and taking in the research that you read and noticing the sources of where you're getting your research from is probably a kind of helpful step forward for that. So, I know some people that think, for example, you can't have PTSD unless you've been in certain situations, which isn't true. I know people who think that depression can be depression is laziness, and all you need to do is get up and out of bed and out and about, which is all well and fine.
I can't think who you're talking about.
And don't get me wrong, I do acknowledge that exercise and getting out into nature and just outside and fresh air, all of that is going to be really beneficial. It's going to kick dopamine and serotonin level. It's going to help with all of that, and it is going to increase your mood and help you feel better. But if you're in a position where your anxiety is so crippling, or your low mood or depression is so tough that day where you can't get out of bed, or you can just get out of bed and go onto the couch, or you're having a jammy day or whatever, then hearing those positive messages is actually such a negative and so detrimental in my experience. I'm not trying to preach on a soapbox here, I'm just saying that I think people
You're absolutely
could be more aware of the things that they say.
The thing is as well though, I remember before that grand old age where I think it was 17 I took my first panic attack, so before that I remember thinking I just don't get how people can say they're depressed. I think this is why I've got depression. It's like oh, where are you? But yeah, and you can't imagine what it's like until you've got it, to be fair. So I do sort of have that in my head sometimes, but at the same time, yeah, educating yourself, and like so many people after COVID as well have realised what it's like. So many people have taken like panic. I have no idea what it's going.
Post lockdown, because also we're still going through COVID, we're still going through the pandemic for all intents and purposes, and so our threat system is still going off. It's not. That's what anxiety is. It's there to keep you safe.
Exactly.
But when it goes into overdrive, and when there's that extension of threat, i.e. you go outside and you don't wear a mask, you could get this, you could get that, you could kill loved ones, it's very serious. You're seeing all of this in the news, you're seeing deaths. I remember Italy at the beginning and being terrified.
Oh my god,
truly thinking like that this was, it was going to completely sweep and wipe out like so many people. I mean, I know it did. I don't know the stats or the figures, so I'm not going to pretend to, but I do know that it's had a serious impact on a lot of people's lives. But yeah, I've lost my train of thread.
Sorry, I said thank you to the thing.
Codex, that's what it was.
Sorry.
The threat-based
system. Sorry.
No, it wasn't you, it was me. I just lost what I was talking about. Anxiety. But yeah,
you know what that is.
So essentially, anxiety is there to, it's a survival mechanism. It's there to help keep you safe. It kicks in to be like, right, okay, that's not safe. This could be a threat. Let's do something else, or let's avoid this. But when you've had a 2-year period of that threat, your system is just completely, is so dysregulated, and it doesn't know how to. Your limbic system is basically going off. It's not. It's like, that's the total professional way to put it. But your limbic system has basically been doing the anxiety dance for 2 years, and it's like, I can't really deal with this and process this, because normally what happens is it's like an in, process and out type of thing for your limbic system. So it's like, here's the threat, I'm going to process.
What's your limbic system again?
It's basically a part in your brain, it's part of your brain that is a sort of like threat system. When your threat system's activated, your limbic system then starts sort of going, if you want, and it's to help protect you. So it's one of those things where what's in there is the input, process and output. So the input is, here's the danger, the process is, right, what can we do to prevent the danger or change this, output, danger is over, right? So that's usually what happens in a quite linear fashion if it's just a kind of standard simple thing, whereas we've not had that because the output's not there yet.
Yeah.
I know I'm talking about weird things that probably doesn't make any sort of sense. It made sense in my mind, but yeah, it's like, just imagine I can
because we're not at the end of the COVID.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when you're at the airport and you pop like your little basket of doodads, like your watches and this and that, into the basket, it goes through the little scanner and then it comes out. And then inevitably I get stopped for a random search and filled in every time at the airport, but that's a story for another time. So anyway, that's what I mean. So like the threat, it goes through that, it gets scanned, and then it gets it. So we're not there, it's not been that sort of full process yet. We've not been able to get through it. And so the limbic system's still completely going off. It's just going off in one, and it's not been able to relax. And so we're all anxious, and we're all panicking, and we're all stressed.
I mean, I've definitely never been as angry person. Like, 'cause I'm usually quite chill, but yeah, I remember going out shopping to a supermarket, and I was honestly like just so angry. And again, like to explain as well, the reason that my parents were staying with me was because my mum was really, really unwell. You want to go? My mum was really, really, really unwell, and so she was a really high risk. And when I saw people like flouting the rules, I was just so angry. I was like, and I did shout at people in the street.
Yeah.
There was a guy spitting in the street though during COVID. Like how? Like, I know, and I'm like, is he stupid? Like, to be fair, that's the most stupidest thing. Like, ugh.
But again, for us, that was a case of we were, and
I
again,
went from calm to being like, is he stupid? Like, and like honestly, shaking. I'm like, that's not me.
But yeah, but for us that was about protecting like our family. That was your mum and your dad, who are in their 70s and extremely vulnerable and high risk. Me not being able to, because of COVID and isolation and lockdown, me not being able to see my family for essentially a year, and us staying in because of how high risk they were. And again, I know a lot of people have different views on COVID. I'm not trying to preach, soapbox, or make anyone think anything that they don't already, because your own beliefs are your thing. Each their own, as long as you're not harming anyone or yourself. I am all good with it, but yeah, with lockdown and everything, I did notice anxiety and everything, like, through the roof. I mean, I'm someone that I'm about to come out clear. So I'm someone that does have depression, does have
Right.
shock horror, I'm gay and this is my fiance. Came out some time ago. No, what I mean is coming out mental health wise. So yeah, I've got depression, I've got anxiety, and I've been diagnosed this year with PTSD. And it's something that I really struggle with. There's a lot of kind of shame and embarrassment, even although I know that those are things that I shouldn't feel or experience.
So I've just saw he said, "What? I thought you were sisters."
Damn it! But yeah, so yeah, I've got PTSD, depression, anxiety, and in the last year I've started taking medication for it, and it's something that I struggled to get to terms with for various reasons. As I said, speak to your GP. We're not medical professionals. Don't take this as professional advice.
Don't even listen to us, to be honest.
Yeah, probably just turn the mic off, close the laptop over, walk away, do something valuable that's not listening to us. But I'm joking. Please listen, please watch, please follow, donate, do whatever you can. Join the chat. Appreciate you, Derek, hanging on in there. I know. But yeah, so that's not something that I would have necessarily said to many people, and it's certainly not something I would ever have thought I would say on a live stream that's going to be accessible by the internet, because people on the internet are always really nice, right? So
now I'm nervous.
Why?
Because you just said that.
Why?
Go up to the wee thingy and press
What does this do? Is it like a magic carpet thing?
I think it's like, I don't know, it signals, like, by doing that, like, you're setting that thing free.
Okay.
They're all caged up. Just to get back to the game.
Okay.
So you need to go over here to this one.
Right.
And then hold down circle.
So free the magic carpets, okay, right.
Yeah.
It's good that it's I'm 54 minutes in, and that's where I'm at. I've finally realised that that's what we're doing, freeing the magic carpets.
To be fair, you know, like, it's only just started really, and I was taking forever to do things.
No, you're burn.
In this I was just going round in circles. But
There's no oh, curtains.
oh, curtains.
I constantly quote Hunger Games.
I know, that's another thing, we're not used to speaking to or in front of other people now.
Yeah, and technically we're not right now, but we are.
I know. So, but yeah, because we'll just be out and like we'll make a reference and like the other person doesn't get it and we're like, oh yeah, you weren't there. You weren't there during 2020.
We do have. So it's like, it reminds me of Elrond, where he's like, I was there. 3,000 years ago. That's definitely Elrond's voice, and it was flawless, so I don't care what you say.
I feel like you heard that information secondhand. Jumperly. You aren't invited to the elf party.
No, I'm never invited to the elf party.
I'm reading off the Mind website as well on my phone.
You are not.
And it's like things that you might feel like, and this is just still just depression. I was about to say.
I've been doing bits from anxiety.
But, I know I've like, I'll do this bit in the depression, but like how you might feel so down, upset, tearful. I wish I could cry. Now this is something that I really, don't get me wrong, I need to be on medication because I'm like you get to a stage where you're younger and you're like, oh, I feel great now, so I'm going to come off my medication. Dumb. Did it loads of times though, but dumb for in my case,
for you, yeah.
For me personally, dumb.
Everyone's going to have their own experience,
yeah,
but
absolutely. But for me, dumb
it's
because I was like, well, didn't consult my GP or anything like that, and just
which can be dangerous.
Yes,
can have withdrawals, symptoms and effects.
Which I did as well, which wasn't great. It was like electric shock things. Apparently they're called, but I felt like I kept calling them a brain blink because it was like because that's what it felt. It just felt like your whole kind of nervous system just went like that. But yeah, so like, but the thing with medication is, for me personally, again, I can't cry.
Yeah,
I know really hard to cry, and it is because I'm like, I need you as a human, you need that. So like, it's not something that bothers me, but I feel like I need that sort of like release, yeah, sometimes, like
or expression, I suppose, because you can express emotions in different ways, but for you, I know that not being able to cry or not crying often is something that kind of bothers you.
Yeah, I mean, I did watch A Dog's Purpose, 15 minutes of it once, and Kim was like actually asleep on the couch and I had to wake up with it. So I might just try and watch that again.
I was having a little post-work nap. Once you're over the age of 30, these happen more frequently. So I was having a little post-work nap and...
A friend!
Hello, friend! I know, I can't even jump, I don't know what's happening.
Press
Oh, right, okay.
Because then it gives you like energy.
I see, right. I had no energy, that makes sense.
I think you can keep track by your tail. Like
right,
tail,
how long my tail is. Okay, right.
Your little tail length.
What were we saying? What were we saying?
Sorry, I was looking to see what...
That's what she does all the time. Doesn't listen. You were talking anxiety, medication, not being able to cry.
Not being able to cry, yeah. It sucks, but unfortunately for me it's necessary. As I said like before, for me being on medication, it's just it needs to happen, because whenever I come off of it, I just feel awful, like the anxiety just through the roof, and just it's horrible.
And that's the thing, like there's different approaches for different people.
Aye, absolutely.
You can do holistic stuff, you can do natural stuff, you can you can do therapy. There's a whole array of stuff out there. Speak to your GP; they'll be able to give you like local services, local things, as well as the kind of medical and holistic point of view as well.
But yeah, the tearful thing really gets to me, like because I can't. Obviously, I can't cry, but yeah, other things as well, like restless, agitated, irritable, like those are things that definitely affect my sleep. Sleep's a big, massive thing. Empty and numb, that's like one that's just, I think everyone gets that. Try and get in the wee things.
Slalom, baby.
Yeah, that's cool. Isolated, like definitely, because you do isolate yourself because you don't want people to see what's actually going on, because it's embarrassing. Like, and it's not embarrassing, sorry, but I mean, like personally, you feel embarrassed.
And it's a catch-22, and it's a catch-22 because then you're further self-isolating and perpetuating that cycle, and just sort of.
Absolutely. And again, like just avoid. There's things that are linked, I guess, like how you make behaves. Like again, this is on the Mind's website, mind.org.uk, but avoiding social events and activities you really enjoy, because that's the thing, once you get there, you're maybe like half an hour in or whatever, and you're like, I'm really glad I came, I'm really glad I like sort of made the effort, blah blah blah, but beforehand, you're just sitting in your house going, oh, I'm super late, is it really worth me going, like, are people really even going to want me there? That was a big thing for me. I just don't understand why people would want to be around me when I'm in that really deep.
Because the self-criticism and the self-hatred that comes out.
Absolute self-loathing.
And not just speaking from a biased perspective, but any of Claire's friends, family, and people that have met her, even briefly, I found love being around her. It's really fun.
Even not family for love being around. let's bypass that one.
Sorry.
There's just not enough time because we are at the hour mark, and I feel like that would be a deeper, longer conversation. But yeah, I suppose today has been like the first kind of attempt at doing a live stream. Obviously we had some technical difficulties for the first 15 minutes, you couldn't hear us. This is what we're going to be doing. We've got 14 more streams coming, they'll be about an hour they'll be about an hour in duration each, and we will have a topic that we will sort of ramble and dance around. But that's the thing, this isn't meant to be taken, this isn't it's not a wellbeing seminar, it's not like a CBT group or therapy or anything like that. It's a place for us to game and to chat, and for anyone that wants to come join the stream, listen, watch, maybe learn something, maybe get some support. If you take anything from today, I would just really like you to know that help is out there, it does get better, and that you can always get support and help if you ask. People can't mind read, it's not as obvious as you think it is. So reaching out, checking things out on Mind, looking at their useful contacts, like we spoke about.
I was just going to say, like, because I was just going through stuff just in case we missed it.
Yeah.
And it's like Mind's services. So there's Mind's helpline, which if you want, I can even put a link to that on the Twitch thing as well. But and so there's Mind helplines, and there's Local Minds, which is a face-to-face service across England and Wales. But I don't know what it would be like with COVID and blah blah blah. But there's also Side by Side, so it's a supportive online community for anyone experiencing mental health problems. And I think there's like facilitators on there as well, which kind of guides the topics and the conversation. Again, I could be wrong, I've not went on to it yet, but like very useful.
And there is a whole list as well on the sort of anxiety subsection and on the depression subsection. And if you go down, because there's little subcategories along the left side of it on their site, if you go down, the useful contacts are there, but it links you to other sites as well. Because Mind isn't the be all and end all, of course, but it covers so much, and it links elsewhere. So
yeah.
So have a look if you are experiencing any of these things, or if you are concerned about anyone experiencing any of the issues that we have kind of brought up and talked about today. Things like Anxiety Care UK, Anxiety UK, the IAPT is great. I'm pretty sure that is predominantly England. I don't think Scotland's covered in that one. There's various different sites, various different services and resources. Reach out, message me on Facebook, or comment, and there's a suggestion box that I've added to my Twitch. So if you don't know who I am, if you're a random sort of streamer who's just caught this, or you don't have me on Facebook, put something in the suggestion box, and if you do want any links or resources, I can send them. As I said, I'm not, and this is not to be taken as professional advice. We've linked the crisis teams and the emergency service, etc. But if you are looking for a little bit more in terms of the resources we've mentioned, let us know, and I can send you a couple of links. But yeah, reach out, talk, check out the site if you want to. Thank you so much for those who have viewed today and have tuned in. Really appreciate it. Also, can I just say, they're like our friends just be. I'm not going to say what you said about Elrond, but he was saying, could you just given him a wee push? I know. Do you know? Recently I have heard this whole thing where it's like you could have done Lord of the Rings could have just been like so much shortened if like 5-10 minutes. When Elrond is like Isildur, and he's like, and Isildur's like, no, I'm gonna keep the ring. I know, and he runs past him and he's like, Isildur! And it's like could have just been like exactly. Yeeted exactly, just yeeted them off the bloody thing. So many thousands of lives sorted, but then we wouldn't have got 3 amazing books. You're right, the Mass Murderer was great. It was definitely worth it, fictionally. Fictionally, yeah. But yeah, so thank you people who have tuned in. Was really dreading having 0 people watching, so it's been nice. It's just a handful of people. Really appreciate more for dropping by. Thank you, and for sort of viewing and for making a few comments. Genuinely, it helps us feel like we're doing this and we're reaching some people. So we're going to play. I think it won't be tomorrow, but the following day. So I think Friday will be our next stream. I think it's Tony Hawk's that we have went for. The remastered one. Yeah. So I think it'll be Tony Hawk Remastered.
1 and 2.
Yes, but I'm going to play about the schedule. Please let me know. This is our first stream, so if there's any suggestions, anything we can do differently or better, then let us know, because we want this to be fun. We want it to be inclusive.
The cat just yawned.
That's pretty much where I should end. Hope it's not been too fun with flags. I'm really pleased. Just tell me it's not. But thank you everyone who has watched. Thank you everyone who's donated. This is for an amazing cause at the end of the day. So whether I sit here and nobody watches, nobody follows, and nobody chats, if the main purpose of the main cause gets out there, then that's all I want. That's what we're wanting.
Yeah.
It's about increasing that awareness and supporting.
It's actually been quite
everyone and
cathartic for me, like today, just to be like blah blah blah.
I know, we've got 14 more. Done.
Yeah.
We will do it as and when we can. Schedule we will aim to stick to. Obviously life may get in the way, things might come up, and we need to keep our own well-being into consideration, taking it into account as well. So if for some reason we aren't feeling it, we won't do it that day, or we'll do it later, or we might reschedule, but I'll promote it as much as I can via Facebook, YouTube and Twitch. Thank you everyone. I don't really know how to wrap up. Like, hello folks. So
we should get that the please stand by thing and just like that's what we should do. Goodbye, folks.
Do you know how to end it, or would you like me to?
I've no idea, honey. On it. Oh. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you all.